We had some really incredible communications from the unseen world when it comes to frequency and reality and pi, the circumference of 3.14, but also Spirit gave us numerology that was telling us about a clock tower or the Tower of Babel and how it's connected to the name pi and pig, and how this pi, pig, and this number is telling us why we're here, how to get out of here, and how to take our spirit and our collective energy out of an inverted reality by looking at the evils of this world and turning it into good. But we don't know how to turn it into good. It's not just about action and prayer. Let's look at the significant communications in these live readings that we did last week. This piece represents three main spheres: a lower world, a middle world, and an upper world. The lower world represents a water world, which is the earth and you. This lower world is a communication of the age of Pisces, but also about being locked in your flesh. Through an awakening or a spiritual rebirth or being born again, we move up to the name pi at the stomach of this female, and above the word pi, which is 3.14, the circumference of a circle, we go to the Christ child being born, where Jesus said, living waters will pour from your heart, and he's the master that walked on water. Above that sphere is a halo, and that halo gives eyesight to we as beings who cannot see or hear God. And this halo technology is simply our spiritual growth. And so this piece is talking about feeding spirit. So the horse represents power. The white horse represents the steam of Christ. It represents water and fire making steam, and how to feed the power within you, how to encourage the gift that the Holy Spirit has given you in order to take what is evil and turn it into good through the three spheres here. The lower world representing Pisces, the upper world representing Aquarius, and the three spheres representing the moon, the earth, and the sun. Now, remember that it said pi in the last piece. And then see that this piece is a clock tower, and the Wicked Witch is at 3 o'clock holding a pig. Pig is P-I-G. And pi is 3.14. And when we look at the three gears on the clock, it represents moving from a Pisces dualistic brain, dualistic mindset to a Trinitarian mindset with the number 3, which is pi, beginning with 3. So Jesus always represented Mary, Joseph, Jesus, the 3 crosses, the 3 wise men, the 3 gifts, and he died at 33, and the sun rose at 3 o'clock after he died. So this Trinitarian mindset is about hearing a divine order of God, seeing the divine order of God and doing the will of God instead of operating from our lower self. And our lower self cannot hear the unseen. So the Holy Spirit is very important with this Trinitarian way of thinking, and that we are not to judge. We're not to be polarized by worldly ways. We're meant to go through a 0-point center balance, like the center cross, in order to get out of a dualistic world dominated by a wicked witch. The fascinating thing about this clock tower is it gave us the number 1221. And when we looked up 1221 in Gematria, it paralleled exactly with clock tower and Tower of Babel. This is telling us from the spirit world that many of us are trapped in the Tower of Babel as an allegory. And it also means that the clock tower is 12. 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. 1221 is 33 when you add it up, meaning that Jesus died at 33. It represents a deathless death within us, a death of who we think we are, being polarized by the written word and merging with the unwritten word and the Holy Spirit, which is living waters that pour from our heart. It's plainly saying that tick-tock, the clock is going back and forth in a dualistic way. And Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead is getting rid of our dualistic mindset so that if we all hear the voice of the Holy Spirit, we will not be dominated by a reptilian brain. If all of our religions heard the invisible word of the Holy Spirit, we would not be polarized by this world and this clock. The number 12 and 21 mirror each other, and both of them come to the number 3. So Jesus left the Bible at 12 years old, and then he died at 33. 33 minus 12 is 21. So it's quite plainly telling us that the Bible was showing us a secret, a clue, a code about escaping the clock, and it is 12:21. Don't think that the story of Christ is the only story of this transcendence. Isis, Osiris, and Horus is the same story as Christ. And Osiris's body was cut 14 times. This is a world that is separated by dualistic numbers, 7 and 7. The two sevens make the number 14. So when we come to 3.14, we're talking about the way out. The way out of the clock is 3.14, which is pi. You have to have a Trinitarian mindset, knowing that everything is either in divine order or not. We have no loyalty to religions, family, or friends. We have only loyalty to the Holy Spirit, a divine order and a synchronistic natural flow. And the 14 pieces of Osiris's body really represents two worlds. Your born again self and your physical self make 14. You have 7 chakras and you live on the realm of 7. 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 colors to the rainbow. 7 spirits of God, 7 wounds of Christ, 7 musical notes, 7 metals, 7 trumpets, 7 seals, 7 curses of Cain. And then the 7 curses of Cain are ascending through the 7 heavens. So when we see this letter M there at the 5 o'clock position, this is a Magi, Mary Magdalene, master of magic or miracles. And this letter M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. But I'm about to show you something that is really kind of significant about the letter M that we often don't notice. So Spirit also brought us the numbers 5295, and then the stars say 51 and then 13. And ooh, look that number up in gematria. It absolutely gives us a clue about how to get out of a dualistic trap. And I'm telling you guys, this is very significant. Notice the black raven above the wicked witch. And so now let's go to our notepad and let's look up these numbers and how significant they are and how the letter M may be a communication about Lemuria. I've always told you that the macrocosmic communication of the microcosmic written word is about your biofield. Your biofield are 2 intersecting circles representing being born again or twice born, 2 rings of power. It also represents a bitten apple. It is the letter M that mirrors the letter W. And it has so many powerful meanings. This is the eye in the center, but it's also the bitten apple. The letter W is the Wicked Witch of the West. The letter M is Emerald City or Anti-M, the master that walks on water. It also represents 23 and 13, the letter M being the 13th letter. When we subtract W from M, we get the number 10. 10 is perfected man. It is everything and nothing. It is your 4th heart chakra, Emerald City, which is green, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10, which is 14. That's a big 10-4, right? So when you spell the number 13 upside down, it is El. And so Emerald City is a place called El. And El is El Shaddai, Elohim, electrons that live forever, the elements, the Elf, Aleph, the one infinite God, and it is electricity and many other El names. Now, El is, when you get into the technology of El, it's significant. So El is like hell, right? And the letter L is the 12th letter in the alphabet. So E is the 5th letter. It's saying, I am E. I am elf. The letter E and L and F are all in the letter E. The letter E is so incredibly significant. It represents E, 3, and M. All of it, and even W. So when you get into the technology, it's saying, I am a technology that dominates a prison called 12, right? But if you invert it, it says La, right? And if you're looking at a place called Lemuria, M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. So again, we have M as an E turned over. And the land of comes from the Bible. It is a place in southern Iraq. It is the home of Father Abraham. Now, when you get into Abraham, you're getting into Hinduism. It's actually Brahma. And his wife is Sarah? No, it's Saraswati. And you think these are actually people? You will learn that they're people on a microcosmic level, but on a macrocosmic level, Brahma represents a technology that puts us in flesh like an avatar. Saraswati is the white dove or the white swan, where that Swati name comes with swan, that carries our consciousness or our spirit from body to body, or keeps us in a prison or sets us free. So male represents the physical material world. Female represents the invisible spirit, like the Holy Spirit. So Brahma is Braham. It's Abraham. That is Brahma. And his wife was Saraswati. And they came from the land of This is the home of Abraham. So when you go to Lemuria, you're going to go to M, which is 13, and the land of which is the land of our original home. And IA is Yah, which is the moon. Now, El was also a place that was the moon. So when Mithra cut the bull turned into the moon, right? But invert it, and you'll see things. Like if this was inverted, it would be, I am artificial intelligence, dominating 18, which is 666, all right? The letter R is 18, which is 666. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. U, 21. And then M is 13. Then you go over here, if we were doing it inverted, this is 12. 21 in the land of 13. This is 5. So it's a communication. This is a code about where we are from. Lemuria is in the land of and the land of is it was founded about 3800 BC, and it was mentioned in the Old Testament, and it was Abraham's home in a place called in northern Mesopotamia. So when we get to the technology of these E's, M or W, both of them either looking like E like this or like this, they also look like birds flying, right? The bird is flying where Dorothy flew over the 7 colors of the rainbow like a pretty little bluebird, except she wore a blue dress. But the inversion of a bird is a bird that fell, which is the letter W. So this is plainly telling us that pi is 3.14. If you want to come out of this world, you have to get a Trinitarian mindset. This means the 3 crosses. You cannot be a thief or a liar. You have to go through the center, which is to say, I am nothing and yet everything, not my will, but your will, and surrendered to the voice of the Holy Spirit. Not the written word, not religions, the invisible word of the Holy Spirit. 14 is the 14 pieces of Osiris's body, which is the 2 pieces, 7 and 7, that bridge and come together as water and fire, which makes steam. Now, G is the 7th letter. So again, what we have here is 777, pig, which is what? 21. What is that? The inversion of 12, which is what? 33. The deathless death. It's a technology, people. I'm telling you. Oh my God.